Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Sonoma.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And welcome to another Rambling review where I give you more games reviewed in one video. Today
Yes!
3 games.
3 games, not games about trees. It's the same joke I did in the last one. It was so funny.
You
People
had to
loved
repeat
it, so I had to repeat it like for new viewers. 3 games today, and these are great games. Spoiler alert. Let's start talking about the one on top. It's Welcome to the Moon.
Yes.
In this game, you have been welcomed to your new home. You've been welcomed to Las Vegas, and now you're going to the moon, which makes all the sense. This is a campaign game, story-driven game, set in the Welcome to Universe. This game basically has 8 different games in it. We have only played 4 of them so far. Didn't want to rush to play them all, because it's very good. But Welcome to the Moon takes the same thing as Welcome to, where you have 3 piles of cards, you flip them, and then you draw a number. And beside that number is going to be kind of an action that you can do. So you can do that action as well. Depending on the map you're playing, you're going to do different actions. And this is one of those reviews where you're not going to see that many pictures because we don't want to spoil the different kind of maps that you can play. There is a campaign. Let's talk more about that later. But that is basically what I can say. You are going to start by the first mission. I can spoil that because that's the first thing you're going to see. You're going to try to get your rocket ready to go to the moon. And then there's going to happen a lot of different things on the moon that changes up the gameplay a lot. So that is Welcome to the Moon. Pretty similar to Welcome to. You're going to try to score points, try to write numbers, try not to be stupid like I usually am, ending up in not being able to draw any numbers at all. So what do you think about this game?
I think it's the core mechanism of Welcome to is the flipping of the 3 cards,
Yes.
and there's a number and a symbol, and you're trying to okay, do I want to place that 13 there? It's gonna limit my options a lot, but I really need that symbol to match with this. I think that is a very cool core mechanism that I really enjoy.
Yes.
I think this is more interesting than Welcome to. Both some of the scenarios in itself has been more interesting to me, but also that you have 8 different.
Yes.
That's a lot of replayability in this.
So before we talk about why the game is so good or that the game is so good, let's talk about the thing that's not that good, the story. It's there.
It's there. It's with the crew or my
Yes.
city.
Yes.
It's just like a setting, and
Yes.
I don't care. But
That is true. The
it's
story,
fine.
if you want I'm going to play a narrative game, don't get Welcome to the Moon. We have only played, to get the whole story, you're going to play through 3 campaigns. You're going to play the 8 maps 3 times. I don't know. Maybe the story is going to be amazing, but if they choose to do it super boring in the beginning, why do that if so the gameplay is what is interesting here. So
Yes.
don't buy this game for the campaign. I would suggest playing with the campaign, because it will change up a bit, the different goals you get and stuff like that. So if you want to play it many times, it will change up the way you play. And there's a lot of these hidden cards that we haven't even looked at, which probably not going to come and play before we have played all of them one time. So I guess there's even more replayability than just playing the 8 different maps.
Cool.
So the game is amazing. Just go buy it. Done.
yeah, rating? Do you wanna?
No, we want to talk more about why it's fun.
yeah.
It was a joke, but it's basically that could be my review. The game is amazing.
It's very good.
I'm having so
Yes.
much fun.
Yeah.
I thought I liked Welcome to before I played this, because this is a core thing, and I love it. The 4 different ones we have played so far has felt very different.
Yeah, it has. But you wanna do. It's the same puzzle, but it's not the same puzzle.
I would say it's not the same puzzle.
No.
You are drawing numbers and doing actions, but it's very different kind of puzzles.
Yeah, I really like it.
It's usually, the puzzle is gonna be, without spoiling, it's gonna be doing something, placing numbers from low to high in different kind of ways, and then doing different actions in different ways. But
getting
it's
scorings.
so different. The first ones that we have played have been very different, and if the last 4 ones are as different, you have 8 games in a box, basically.
Yeah.
8 games in one box.
That is very good. I think I agree with you. The campaign, it's just some package for the gameplay, basically. It's just there's a lot of scenarios here
Yeah.
with different goals. Let's do a story and
Yes.
call it a campaign. But I think it's fine for that purpose.
And I like that they have like a reason to have like all of them are thematic, all of them, and you don't have to play it. You can just play one and then play the second and play the third.
Yes.
But I would recommend, even though I don't like the story, I would recommend playing it with the campaign.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to rate this game, and should people get the game?
Get it?
Yes.
I think it's very good. I want to give it a 9. It's a
Yes.
very, very, very good roll and write game.
Yeah, I
And
think
something and write game.
something right. I think this might be my new favorite of the bunch.
Yeah. So good.
I don't think I need to play Welcome to ever again when I have this,
we have
because
this now.
we have now 8 different versions of Welcome to.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna give it a 9 as well. It's a
Nice.
fantastic game. High recommendation if you enjoy these kind of games. Then let's talk about Watch. This
Yes.
is one of the games that you probably have never even heard about, but it is from Daniel Newman. He's not made any very big games, but this is from PD Verlag, who is the same publisher who did Concordia, which they are the most known for. So it's not like an unknown publisher by any means. But this, I just saw Daniel Newman. I know that name, PD Verlag. I know that. I need to buy it at Spiel. So in this game, which has a very nice theme, you are working in a watch factory in the Soviet Union. But the watch factory might also be making ammunition for weapons, and you are trying to smuggle out a lot of ammunition without being watched. Funny, it's all you can see people, and it's also a watch that you have to know the time.
Yes.
It's a good joke. I like it. It's kind of made itself from the game. It's not my original joke. You can't buy it, and I will not perform it live. So I will if you pay me enough money. But you are basically, it's a worker placement game. And just now I understood why timing is so very important in this game, because it's a game about a watch. I actually did not understand that reference until now. I am stupid. But basically if you understand any of this, you get a gold medal. I'm gonna do it it's a worker placement game where you do very simple actions. One of the actions is to try to watch the other players. So you're trying to basically, kind of like in Not Alone that we just played, that you will see like, oh, where do I think you're gonna go next time? And if you go there, you're gonna have to pay me money depending how good you are on different actions. You're snitching, you're watching, and you're going to people, and basically they have to bribe you to not tell the superiors where they have been doing illegal things. And then you're gonna also try to do area majority on different tracks that gives you scoring at the end of the game. It's very simple. Is it good? What do you think?
Is that your description of the game?
Yeah.
You skipped like 50% of the gameplay.
Let me know about the gameplay, please.
Because you have one worker, that is kind of important information.
I said that.
No, you said it worker placement game,
think
and you
I
were
said
like
it.
messing around with the watch and the timing. And like every
That is Watch.
every
Let's talk
turn,
about
it's
the
so,
last.
No, it's so interesting because every round you're the watch, what do you call it?
Hand.
The hand, it moves so that like the person with the like clockwise can move to another
Clockwise, like it's a clock.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
just
To
gonna go
another
behind you.
worker placement spot. But if that is taken, then and so oh my gosh, like
Basically, when you place your workers,
Yeah.
it's the first person from the clock hand going clockwise.
That
But
is-
then you all of the workers are laid down after they do the action. Then you have to place your worker on a free spot, which means that there's only now going to be 4 different places where you can go. And when you play a 4-player game, when you go there, that also means that you know when you're gonna do your activation that round, but you also know when you're gonna remove your worker next round. So if there's somewhere you want to go, you have to be able to go there after that person has moved, but before somebody else has gone there. So you have to place your worker in a spot this round to dictate what action you might be able to do next round.
Yeah.
And that is extremely
really cool.
interesting.
And another cool thing is the light and the dark action spaces.
Yes.
So with the dark, which are illegal, so you can get penalty and have to pay to go there. And again, taking loans are negative points, so you don't wanna do that, but you then think, okay, is it important enough for me? Because those are usually better actions, the illegal ones.
Yes.
And then when you do an action, then you make that action better for later, and you also can get some cards that you suddenly can avoid paying for and get points, and it's a very good game.
Yes, so
It
there's
is.
many things to like. One thing I love is that it's a 60-minute game for 4 people.
Yes.
There's just so much depth, so much fun in such a short game. I love, as we already talked about, the clock mechanism, that moving around, the timing of that is so good, so new and so interesting and so fresh. It's very new, it feels different than anything I've seen done in that way. It took us three-quarters of the first game before I was like, oh, if I will ever have to be able to do that action, I have to place myself the last round to be able to do that, and that is so neat.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the fact that you upgrade your actions, and there are 4 different sections. Those are basically what you upgrade, so depending on which action in that section you take, it might be better or not, depending on what action that is in each of the sections. And also, whenever you move one of your markers to make that action better, you also place it on that achievement board, which is then 1, 2, 4, 6 lines of area majority, which gives you points for all the ammunition crates you have smuggled out. It gives you all the gears you have left at the end, or all the money you have left at the end. And that is very tight. There's many ways to manipulate that. You get bonuses for placing on different spaces. There's ways to like skip spaces to fill in more space, so it's harder for other people to take out your majority. There's just so much to love about this game. This is one of like the big surprises of the year.
I think this is one of the hidden gems.
Yeah. If you get a chance to play this, if you like medium, it's a light medium. I have to say medium
It's
Euro game.
simple, but it has some new things. So it's
Yes.
kind of like jumbles your brain. Like first time playing this game, it's gonna take a while to just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
so you have to think in this direction.
I
Clockwise.
absolutely adore it. I think it's a very good game. I think
Rating?
that if you want to play something you would probably never have picked up because you haven't heard about it, this is the one. This is the one from this year that I think you should get. This is the one that you have not heard about it that you really should play.
Cool.
Rating, what do you think?
It's so good though, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go with 8.5 for this one.
Yep.
I really like it.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5 as well. For this kind of game, it's just super duper good. Done
Last
with
game.
that. Let's do the last one.
Let's go.
This is a beautiful game called Oltre. I think that it's not a tree. This is 3 games about it. It's not about a tree. It's Oltre, I think. It's a French word. I'm pretty sure it's based upon a RPG, like a pen and paper RPG. And they made this. It's a cooperative game. As you can see, the beautiful artwork by Vincent Oltréé. And yeah, it's a cooperative game, pretty straightforward stuff. You are rangers in a satrapy and you're trying to help the citizens, help build up the fortress, and you're going to play through a chronicle every time you play, which is basically kind of a storybook. And there's going to be different incidents, different events, different problems that you might solve. You are kind of in a pandemic-ish, like in many of these co-op games, trying to remove things from areas until they're done, and then try to build a tower so you can make it safe, and then nothing else can happen in that area. And depending on the chronicle you play, like the storybook, and depending on the missions you have to do different things to be able to win at the end of the game. It's one of those, like, there are basically a couple of ways to lose throughout the game, but that hasn't happened. So it's mostly like getting to the end of the chronicle and seeing if you win the chronicle or lose the chronicle. So this, like, it's a co-op game. So you probably...
But like, is it a co-op game?
It's absolutely a
I'm
co-op
just kidding.
game.
You've said it as a co-op game 5 times.
Okay, so this is a co-op game about rangers in a satrapy. I already said that. So yes, you are playing one of the chronicles. I think there are 6 of them in the box. You can of course play them many times with the different missions, but yeah.
And different difficulty as well.
Yes. So first of all, it's a co-op game, so I'm going to talk a bit more about what I think about this co-op game later. But what do you think about this co-op game?
I think it's nice. I think it's one of the things that I enjoy about this co-op game is that it flows very fast.
Yes.
Your turn is basically 2 actions. They can't be the same. And you have a character that has a little special ability that you want to utilize. And then you either like build buildings with resources in the fortress, you go out to solve problems, or take away like and those can be have some specific resources, take like a thematic choice, or do a test, and the skill checks are also very fast.
Yeah, I feel like most of them are doing skill checks. Like,
Yeah.
not all, but most of them are.
Most
So
of
you
them.
are mostly on your turn, you're going to move and draw a card and roll some dice and see if you get what you want.
Yes, and between the turns, your the round marker is basically moving, and it can skip some steps, and they can be on the same step multiple times,
Yeah.
and they can trigger events. And I think like it's enough, but it's not too much. So it's very simple. It flows very fast, but it's still interesting decisions.
I would say if you are looking for a hard, crunchy co-op game, this is not it. This
No.
is a family-style, pretty simple co-op game. We have played on the hardest difficulty and we've won without really having any problems. It says 10 plus, so I would say that's a fine thing. Like playing with family, really good. Or if you just want something light that looks beautiful, because it
Yeah.
looks so good. You'll probably see some components, hopefully,
And
as
the
soon as I took
storybooks
pictures.
is beautiful as well. I
Yes.
really like that it's laid out like a book, even though it has no thematic, like it has no mechanism meaning. But I think it's nice that it looks like a book.
Yeah, and it has that little narrative. It's not amazing stories, but I do enjoy working through that story. That it's like there are different enough, they're kind of fun, whimsical fantasy stories, and I do enjoy that. Another thing I really enjoy is that it's short. It says 60 minutes. We haven't spent 60 minutes on a scenario. We spent like between 35 and 50 minutes for a
That's good.
scenario. Of course, we're playing two players, it's going to go quicker. But I think that is very nice for what this is.
Yes.
It's very laid back, it's cozy, it is maybe a bit too easy. Like if you are looking for like mostly I play co-op games and I say like, oh, it has to be hard. You have to be like, oh no, they will lost. That hasn't happened in or place of it. And
Like one of the scenarios.
that was
we did.
the tutorial. I think that's almost made to not be able
Yeah,
to
because
win.
that was the hardest, and but mostly I enjoy it. I think that because when you work towards that last thing you want to accomplish, you have to do something in the satrapy
You have to do the missions basically, to make it easier.
the last thing you want to do easier.
Yeah.
So it's not mandatory, but that gives you like the whole a direction that gives
Yes.
your gameplay a meaning.
The
basically.
point for doing anything,
Yes.
yeah.
So when you get to that and you're done with it, you're basically just like, okay, what do we do now? But
Yeah.
it hasn't happened.
It happened like to the end of the game, but
Yeah.
not like it's like the Chronicles, the long Chronicles, which is all of them except the first, have like 10 chapters. So every time you go 4 spaces on the kind of turn order, you're going to flip a new chapter. So it's very quick because between every player, you're going to roll the die and move on the turn order, and it's going to be an incident, a problem, or an event. The events are kind of what is the hardest. They can like block you or move you around or do different negative things. Those are the most like hard things that feels from, but even those are kind of feels nice for being in a co-op game.
Yeah.
So I would say this is kind of like a nice, flowing, relaxed co-op game. Looks
true.
beautiful, but it's not too complicated. Very easy to play for families.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, and that might be the reason why I enjoyed it so much, because it's not... The thing I don't like about co-op games is when they are super long and you just sit and talk about every single
Okay, should
decision
I go there?
for
Should-
10
But
minutes.
if you go there and I
But
go
then
there,
again, in those games, you have to do it, because if you don't, you will lose in
You will
5
lose,
minutes.
yes.
So here, for me, it was a really nice co-op game, but know that it's not a hardcore co-op game. It's a family-style, pretty simple co-op game.
Yes.
So what do you think?
I think it's nice. I think it's a good game. I'm going to give it a 7. I think this is good for what this is.
Yeah.
But for us in our co-op game
Yeah.
style, I might seek out more, what do you call it, like story-heavy.
For us too, yeah, absolutely.
Co-op games, because this has, like, if you're playing a co-op game for the story, I might not choose this game.
No, but it's not trying to be a story
No,
game.
it-
Like, it has a
it doesn't try to
narrative
be that.
part of it, absolutely. I'm going to say something weird. I want to keep it, because I would
Yeah.
like to play the last ones we have not played yet.
Yeah.
Because it's just very cozy to play. I'm going to give it a 7 as well. But no, this is this is strange for me for giving a co-op game like a pretty standard, straightforward co-op game that high of a rating. But it's because of that. It's laid back, it's easy, it fits me. So know that before you go out and buy it, that it might not be for you if that's not what you're looking for.
Yes.
So that's the end of 3 more reviews in one video. Crazy stuff. If you are still here and you have not subscribed, you can do so now by
clicking the subscribe button.
It's free and it's fun for everyone. If you want to do something that's not free but still fun, you can go to patreon.com/boardgamingramblings and help us out there. And that's the end of the video.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye bye.